Hi guys, I'm Ben Jewell, CPU SA branch organiser for the power industry. I'd like to talk to you today about the SAPN Networks Anavan Enterprise Agreement. We weren't going to make a video today because the voting starts at 4 p.m, but we have to correct some untrue statements made in a video that SAPN Networks released this morning. In the video, the SAPN Networks representative said that we hadn't changed our position since bargaining has started. This is patently untrue. 2 meetings ago, we took 17 claims off the table. We've been trying to bargain with SAPN Networks, and when they explained to us that we had some unsustainable claims, we removed them, as you do in bargaining. For SAPN Networks to now say that we have not changed our position is patently untrue and is disappointing to us. We also told SAPN Networks Anavan in the last enterprise agreement meeting, when they said they were going to put an offer out, that we would campaign against them if that offer included a 2-tiered wage system, changes to contractor parity, or changes to the issue resolution procedure. As you know, the current offer contains all of those, so us campaigning against them should not be a surprise. Now here's the reason why we are campaigning against them. Their current offer has a 2-tiered wage system in it. It's going to give new employees 80% of current rates, 70% of current allowances, and new employees will go to 3 hours of time and a half for their penalty rates. This will create a 2-tiered system within the workplace, and it will undermine job security and wage security moving forwards. Also, they've changed the issue resolution procedure to the model term, which is the worst possible term or clause that you can put in an enterprise agreement. This changes the scope of what can be disputed. So in our current one, you can dispute anything you like. It's an issue of concern. But in the one that they've put forwards, you can only dispute things that are in the enterprise agreement or in the national employment standards. This is a problem because we have many local agreements, like the 12-hour shift roster agreement, all of our availability rosters, the performance improvement plans and the performance review systems that aren't currently in the enterprise agreement. So if you have an issue with any of those, you cannot dispute them using the issue resolution clause. Their proposed issue resolution clause also removes status quo. Status quo means that if you dispute something, they can't change it until the dispute is resolved. By removing this, when they come into your workplace looking to change things, they can change them, and then it's up to you to dispute them afterwards and get them changed back. This is a massive step backwards. We currently have a really good issue resolution clause, and we're going to the worst one possible. The last thing that we said was a non-negotiable was the changes to the contractor parity clause. And this is the biggest issue that we have. Currently, if labour hire comes into your workplace, they're paid the same as you for doing the same role. If you remove the contractor parity clause or change it in any way, labour hire could come in at any cost that the person agrees to, right down to the award. Currently, the award rate for a linesman is about $24 an hour. This has caused massive damage, removing contractor parity clauses in the construction industry, and now the construction industry is overrun with labour hire. We do not want that for our membership, we do not want that for our industry, and that is why we told them it was a non-negotiable, and if it was included, we were going to campaign against them. We need everyone to vote no for these 3 reasons. Any one of them is reason enough to vote no. All 3 of them, you definitely should be voting no and telling everyone else to vote no. Of the claims that we do have, job security was the highest priority. We have a lot of supplementary labour within the business at the moment, and we were trying to get SAPN Networks and Anavan to make these people permanent. We wanted to set a 12-month limit to supplementary labour and secondments within the business through these negotiations. And this is a cost-saving claim for SAPN Networks. Currently, They hire people from supplementary labour firms and pay a premium for those people to be in the workplace. If they put those people on permanent, they would simply have the hourly rate that that person is entitled to. So there's no way that SAPN networks could lose in that situation. Everyone needs permanent employment. We've currently got supplementary labour workers in our business that have been on supplementary labour for 9 or 10 years. This is inexcusable. These people can't get a loan for a house because supplementary labour is daily labour hire and it's a casual situation. In an industry that's regulated, there's no way that this should be happening. If you've been in a business for 9 years, you are occupying a core role. That is our view. Anything over 12 months, you are occupying a core role and you should be permanent. I don't understand why SAPN Networks does not want to move on this, as this would save them a lot of money. On the SAPN Networks video today, they made assurances that a lot of things wouldn't happen because that's not the type of business that they are. Well, that's fine until you are targeted by someone. We see members that come through our office with psychological injury claims that are automatically rejected. I don't know of one that has been accepted straight away. And also work cover claims for when they have injured themselves on their way to work that have been rejected, and when they've finally won it in court, they are now being appealed. These situations may not happen to everyone, but they should matter to everyone, because any one of us can be injured, either through stress, workload, psychological injury, or injured on the way to work. When the SAPN Networks representative says that this isn't the business they are, well, he may not have visibility of all this, but he needs to understand that if they are the business that he thinks they are, they wouldn't be doing this. We've had to fight for workers to get LAFA when they worked in the bushfires last year. We had to take the company to the Employment Tribunal to get these workers their entitlements. There are a lot of things that go on within SAPN Networks that we see as wrong, but they're actually legal. So the SAPN Networks representative saying we wouldn't do that because this is the business that we are provides no assurances to the workers whatsoever. If they wouldn't do this stuff, then why do they need the changes? That's the question that everyone needs to be asking. One of the major issues that the trade workforce has is rostering. As we know, availability rosters are not covered under the enterprise agreement currently, and they're not covered under the enterprise agreement that's proposed. Also, the issue resolution procedure being changed means that you can't challenge them either if the company moves to change a roster. 6 years ago, we had a big dispute with SAPN Networks over this in the CBD. We had the CBD shift dispute, and that was a turning point for availability rosters in SAPN Networks. Since then, they've tried to change availability rosters here and there, and we've defended it in most cases. If the proposed enterprise agreement gets up, we've got no way of defending this. They can force changes, and even if you do have the ability to contest it in the Fair Work Commission, the status quo provision is removed, so the change will go ahead and it's up to you to fight to have it reversed. The power imbalance in this situation is tremendous. You've got workers trying to challenge a multinational corporation that has an army of lawyers. The easiest way out of this situation is for everyone to vote no. You do not want to give the right to rostering all the way over to the company. Your family matters. Also, as an indicator of the type of business that SAPN Networks is, I ask you to talk to anyone that's been under investigation. Investigations in this business are vicious. They can stand you down and not tell you why for weeks on end, and when they do finally come to you with allegations, you're in such a state that you can hardly respond to them. They use private investigators, and the investigations seem stacked for the worker from the outset because they've sat at home with no idea what they're being investigated by in a pressure cooker. There are processes in this business that need to change. And if the SAPN Networks representative wants us to believe that SAPN Networks is not the business that does that sort of thing, then they shouldn't do that sort of thing. Talk to people who have been investigated, talk about the process, and talk to them about what business they think SAPN Networks are. We've also had major issues within SAPN Networks with workers being told that they're not allowed to apply for jobs outside of their area. This may be done because of low resourcing, but in any way, it's unfair to them. It happened to them in the CBD after the CBD shift dispute because everyone wanted to leave at that point in time and the resourcing was so hard to get for CBD accredited workers. It's recently happened in the regions with workers in depots being told that they can't leave because there's not enough resourcing to replace them. This traps workers in places that they may not want to be, and it also limits their career progression. It's not something that should be happening, and SAPN Networks, if that's not the business that they are, then they should stop doing it. So when the no vote gets up, and we believe it will, we'll be going back to the bargaining table and really turning the screws on SAPN Networks in Enovan. They haven't believed the bargaining reps when we've said that this stuff is not negotiable, but they've got no choice but to believe the workers after a third no vote. SAPN Networks needs to understand that what they've put in place and the impacts of what they're trying to put in place is going to undermine the industry for our members and all of the workers. That's not acceptable to us. In the current situation, your current enterprise agreement is 10 times better than what the company are offering. There is no reason for anyone to vote yes because your current enterprise agreement stays in force until you vote to replace it. So SAPN Networks need to understand that your job security and your wage security is the most important thing to you, and any offer they put forwards in the future needs to maintain that job security and wage security. Stick with us, vote no, and we will win this. Thanks for watching.